It's time for
DodgerHeads.
Hi, everyone, and welcome into DodgerHeads Live, presented by DodgerBlue.com. My name is Matthew Moreno. Joining me Friday night, unplanned show, but sort of in response to everything going on, is our managing editor, Blake Williams, and we are here to discuss college football. It's in, if you count week 0, this is week 3 now, but otherwise, week 2, kind of a full schedule. NFL started.
I thought this was the NFL show, not the college show.
Yeah. Well, I'm on it, so we need to mix in some college football. But yes, I don't know, Blake, is there anything else that would come to mind that we would need to discuss tonight other than that?
I don't think so. The Dodgers aren't showing up, so maybe we shouldn't show up for them either. But yeah, here we are, and ready to talk some football, definitely, and nothing else.
Yeah, maybe instead of food at the end, I haven't seen Manuel in here with us yet. I know he loves when we discuss food. Maybe we'll get in a little football for him. I know he might like some of that as well. But in all seriousness, thank you, everybody, for joining us. I see our audience is quickly growing. A lot of familiar faces in the chat with us on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Obviously, if you're joining us, I'm sure you're well aware the Dodgers just lost 2-1 to the Baltimore Orioles in walk-off fashion. Orioles are on a 4-game winning streak by way of dominating the top of the NL West. They swept the Padres, had a day off on Thursday, took care of business against the Dodgers tonight. The Dodgers, meanwhile, on a 4-game losing streak, having just been swept by the Pirates and now dropping 1 to the Orioles. We'll discuss everything. Tanner Scott, I feel like, is obviously going to factor prominently into tonight's show, the offense and things of that nature. But we do have a bunch of super chats to get to. So, Blake, let's start with those. The first one is from Bacon Tree. He says, more of the same, sad team. I want to get mad, but I expect more uncaring play from the Jokers. The moves and non-moves tell you all you need to know. Blake, this is something we kind of were kicking around today during the game as it was unfolding. And there's a little bit of it. I'm glad, like, you and I sort of are on, I guess it's safe to say, opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of trade deadline and what they could have done, should have done type thing. So I'll turn the floor over to you to kind of share your perspective and remind people of where I know you've expressed this in the past, but sort of remind people of how you look at things.
Yeah, I like the trade deadline because Brock Stewart is a good pitcher. He obviously got hurt, and you can't really predict that. I know a lot of people point to his injury history, but you still can't predict that kind of thing. Alex Call was having a really good season with the Nationals, and seems like the Dodgers may have broken him because he went from never striking out to always striking out now with the Dodgers. If you think that's a hitting coach issue or something else that they tweaked the swing, or just like he can't handle the bright lights, whatever that is, like he was a good player at the time. So I didn't have problems with those moves that they made. You could argue, yeah, maybe they could have went and got Yohan Duran, but is that going to fix this team right now? Like, is it going to make them score more than 1 run a night? I don't see it. Could they have went and got Laureano? Sure. Would it improve the team? Yeah, probably. Is it going to make them go from a 1 to 2 run offense every night to scoring 5 to 6 and winning every game? Probably not. Like, for me, the reality is you need Teoscar to hit. You need Mookie to hit. You need Will Smith to be back healthy and hitting. You need Muncy to come back. You need Tommy Edman to come back. You need Andy Pajes to come back. You need to see Les Conforto probably, even though he's been their better hitter for the last week, which is saying a lot about the state of the offense right now. Shohei's been fine, but not great. Like, you need him to do better. Right now, it's really only Freddie who's hitting, and I don't think anything at the trade deadline they could have done would have fixed that issue.
Yeah, I think where this sort of boils down to, and maybe some of it is in the semantics a little bit, is I agree with you. Like, I don't think there was a move or even 2 moves or frankly even 3 moves that the Dodgers could have made at the deadline that would have, quote unquote, fixed everything or solved what's going on right now. That being said, I think the Dodgers, and I said this at the time, so it's not, hindsight is 2020 type thing. I meant, when we did our big trade deadline live show leading up to the buzzer, and then after that, I gave them the lowest grade, and I think you gave them the highest grade amongst our staff. So I was skeptical, critical of it at the time. I think that there still was an area, a space for the Dodgers to make additional moves on top of what they did, and or different moves to still sort of improve the team. And as Dave Roberts likes to call it, raise the floor, which I know that they feel that they did with Brock Stewart and Alex Call. The Brock Stewart one, that trade I'm fine with. Although I will say, yes, any pitcher can get hurt. A pitcher who has been healthy throughout his entire career could then happen to get hurt this season or in any given year. Things unfortunately happen. I think there is, though, more inherent risk when it is somebody like Brock Stewart who already has a checkered injury past. And so if that's the route you're going, then okay. Like Brock Stewart, I think can be a benefit, a boost to the bullpen. But I feel like to sort of protect against a possible injury with him, like there could have been a secondary move maybe in terms of relief pitcher. And all of this being said, like, yeah, I agree with you. Had they done a little bit more, they're not, 10 wins ahead of where they're at right now. But I do think that it is possible, if they had found a better solution in left field. I know I was on here saying, like, I know Michael Conforto was sort of turning things around. I think that obviously turned out to be a little bit of a mirage type thing. I feel like there could have been a little bit more, and maybe you don't necessarily win 10 games more, but maybe you win 1 or 2. Maybe, I know Daniel brought this up, maybe a Ramon Laureano gets you a big hit or 2 that wins a game type. And I think that can potentially build on it. I know Scott had his show this morning sort of discussing a lot of the comments that Miguel Rojas said, and I thought they were pretty telling. Yes, baseball, I would imagine, like, it's obvious, like the players aren't having fun right now, right? But I thought some of his sort of extended remarks about just the state of the team, the state of the clubhouse, kind of the overall mood was pretty telling. And so, yeah, I mean, at this point, the hope is, Max Muncy gets back and he hits the ground running the way he did when he came back from his knee injury, and Tommy Edman is healthy and he contributes, because short of that, I mean, there's really no help kind of in sight for this team.
Can I counter and point out that the team that went out and made all the moves we wanted them to make, getting Mason Miller and Ramon Laureano and Ryan O'Hearn, are 2-8 in their last 10 games. They got swept by the Dodgers right after the trade deadline. They're still in second place. And with how bad the Dodgers have been, they haven't been able to overtake them. So, like, yeah, you can go make those moves. It's not guaranteeing anything. Fair. And they don't have some of their stars performing up to the standards they expect. Tatis has been having a bad year. Machado's been fine. Xander Bogaerts is out now, and he's been pretty bad overall. Like, these two teams, they need their stars to perform, and that's what's not happening with either of them right now. Like, yeah, Laureano would have been nice for the Dodgers, but I still don't think it changes much of anything if you don't have Mookie hitting consistently with power, if you don't have Teoscar doing much of anything on the field. He's not hitting, he's not playing defense. Conforto's not hitting. Will Smith is injured now, and he's been having a second-half slump. Andy Pajes has been pretty bad for the last 2 months or so. Like, there's just so much more that needs to go into it than just saying, yeah, they could have went and got 1 or 2 more players. That might have helped. But we can also see it might not have helped, like it is with the Padres right now. And, like, you really just need your star players to be your star players, and that's what it comes down to.
That is fair. I do certainly agree with you that nothing is guaranteed. Like, the Padres won the trade deadline, right? Like, far and away. And as you pointed out, they are struggling. They're also losing to the Rockies, I think 3-0 at last check tonight. So, yes, things are certainly bad down in San Diego after dominating the trade deadline. So it doesn't guarantee anything. I do recognize that. I still think there's a little bit more middle ground, on kind of the two sides I think you and I are taking, that I personally believe, maybe the Dodgers would have benefited from. All right, let's keep getting through. We have a bunch of these super chats. So thank you again, everybody, for joining us on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. As a reminder, if you are on YouTube, please be sure to hit the like button on this video, subscribe, ring the notification bell. And also, you need to set your notifications to, I believe, something to the effect of receive all notifications, or I forget what exact specific wording YouTube uses, but it's one of those settings. So that way you'll be sure to get alerted whenever we do these live videos, whenever we put up other content. Blake just recorded a video with the head of the trade show that's coming to Dodger Stadium. Is that what was
LA Card Show? Yeah.
LA Card Show. Yeah. So we'll be having that up this weekend. And we have a bunch of other content, obviously Scott's morning shows and things of that nature. Next super chats from 300 GJW says, when have the Dodgers been able to rely on Mr. Glass? I'm not even mad at him. The whole team is just playing poorly. Yeah, the Glasnow injury is something we're going to sort of get into. There is minimal concern as of now. Obviously, we'll have to see if he ultimately ends up on the injured list. I know the Dodgers tend to be a little bit more optimistic than not with initial injuries, and so we'll kind of have to see where that goes. But yeah, I mean, look, like Glasnow, it's an unfortunate situation with him. Hopefully, he did have some back trouble. Was it earlier this year or last year? Because we were joking around that Daniel was able to relate to it because he said, as being a tall person himself, sometimes you wake up and your back just isn't feeling well.
He missed 3 weeks with that last year, so
yeah,
we'll see.
Then yeah, I mean, look, I'm not anticipating that he will avoid the injured list. I mean, I'm certainly a little bit more skeptical that he'll be able to kind of stay healthy and make his start.
It's okay because they have Andrew Heaney now. He's going to come in and step right into the rotation.
That's right. Or hey, Roki Sasaki, he's made 4 or 5 starts down in AAA at this point, so he's built up. He's ready.
Yeah, but Roki's the reason they signed Andrew Heaney. So
yeah. Real quick, we have an update from Dave Roberts on Dalton Rushing. He said X-rays were negative, but he certainly won't play tomorrow and could end up on the injured list. He's going to go for a CT scan. Dodgers are going to bring up another catcher, at least I believe on the taxi squad for Saturday to kind of see how Dalton Rushing is. And that's a report that Jack Harris of the LA Times shared. So that's where things stand with Dalton Rushing. I mean, that looked ugly. I mean, at first I thought, maybe it's painful, obviously, to foul a pitch off your leg in that area. And so I was thinking perhaps it's just the pain and it'll sort of wear off and subside and he'll be okay. But the longer he stayed down, and then obviously seeing him getting carried off the field, not encouraging to say the least.
Yeah, Rushing's a tough guy too. Like, I'd be surprised if he doesn't miss some time here.
Yeah. Next super chat, is from Brandon. I know we were losing in the 9th. He said, I knew we were losing in the 9th with Tanner Scott. Zero confidence in him. Dalton can't catch back there. Better at bats tonight for Michael. I'm assuming Conforto, but it's time to give it up with him. Blake, obviously Conforto has been a polarizing, not even polarizing, a little bit of a lightning rod for the fans. And I get it. Like, he has not had a good season by any means. Do you see maybe Conforto's playing time, his role, his opportunities sort of diminishing here in the next maybe week as Muncy and Edman get back?
I would assume so. With Muncy and Edman coming back, like, you got to remove 2 guys from the lineup, and Conforto's probably the obvious answer for one of them. It's been a really bad year for him. He's been fine in the last week or so, but like I said earlier, that's not saying much compared to this team. So yeah, I wouldn't expect many more at-bats from him moving forward. He'll probably be moved to a bench role and stick around for kind of a depth left-handed hitter purpose.
Yeah, I agree. Another super chat from 300 GJW said, I know it's too early for this conversation, but it will be interesting to see what Friedman does in the offseason if this ends badly. I don't know if you got into this. I know you joined Scott's live show. Was it Thursday night that he also did? Last night, I guess, right?
Thursday, yeah.
Or Wednesday.
So. Sounds right. One of them.
Yeah, anyway, yeah.
Thursday, because he didn't have the morning, or he had the morning stuff. So.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know if you guys got into this. We sort of discussed it when I was on with Jeff and Bruce earlier in the week. My days are completely off right now, so I apologize, everybody. It's hard to believe that it's already Friday. I thought, like, if there is going to be any change, I'm not counting on it, but I would think maybe in terms of the coaching staff, perhaps the hitting coaches, I mean, I didn't say it at the time, but maybe Mark Pryor. But I mean, again, like, I don't know. I think Friedman and the front office, the ownership group, are also going to factor in injuries and things of that nature when evaluating stats this year.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see any major changes this offseason, at least from the coaching side. I could see them moving on from Teoscar and trying to make a change there. So then you replace both corner outfield spots or bring in a center fielder and move Baez to a corner. But other than that, I'm not really sure what they can do. Like, Tommy Edman's kind of locked in at second base. Mookie's locked in at shortstop, Friedman at first, Will Smith behind the plate. I assume Muncie's option will get picked up for $10 million. So, like, there's not many changes you can make there, and I think they'll just try and run it back with some changes around the edges of the team.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, I'm just sending out something here really quick. Let's see what our next super chat is. Thank you again, 300 for that super chat. Second one so far. He's done 2 tonight. Aaron Garcia says, unpopular opinion, Tanner Scott looked a lot better. He just made one terrible pitch. If the offense decided to clock in, one run wouldn't be their difference. It is a fair point. I text you guys, Tanner Scott got back-to-back strikeouts in the 9th inning. I thought, like, he looks a lot better. He wasn't living in the zone. He was getting some chase. I know Oral sort of commented that one of the pitches he got, I forgot which hitter it was to offer at. It was a check swing, and the third base umpire ruled that he did go around, was sort of benefit of facing a young hitter, and that maybe a more veteran batter wouldn't necessarily offer at such a pitch. Yeah, I mean, he was doing okay. I think all things considered, velocity, I know he hit 99, I think, at one point, and then he just left him an absolute mistake to a left-handed hitter.
I mean, I feel like that's been his problem all year. Like, the stuff hasn't necessarily been bad. He's just leaving things over the heart of the plate, and then they're getting hit out. And I feel like he's kind of talked about that. It was like he's avoiding more walks but giving up more homers recently, and that's something we talked about earlier in the year. Like, maybe he just needs to be out of the zone more and stop trying to limit walks. I think that's what it is. I hope that's what it is, because they have him for another few years after this year, and they need him to be good this year. So, yeah, but he's just making too many mistake pitches.
Yeah, I agree with you. We're going to pause the super chats really quick and welcome in our second, I guess, or third participant tonight. Anthony, do I even bother to ask how it's going?
I had a really good Friday night going. Made some steaks, made
little
some
sour patch marinade on the steaks.
I got the baby girl some Sour Patch straws, introduced her to those. Whenever we go to the meat market, because Daddy's going to smoke some meat, she knows that she gets a treat. And so she got some Sour Patch straws, had a few glasses of wine going. It was all good. We were having a nice little family dinner. And they move into the 9th, and we're all chatting. And I did not believe that there was going to be a walk-off off Tanner Scott. I just thought the chances, the odds are finally in his favor. It's happened too many times, and it's Baltimore. Like, didn't think it was going to go. Gets the first 2 guys, and then boom. And at that point, I decided that, you know what, if we have a live tonight, I have to jump on, because I need the therapy.
Yeah, Blake and I were just discussing Tanner Scott, and I know I texted you guys at the time. And he got the 2 strikeouts, right? He was looking okay. He wasn't leaving everything over the heart of the plate, and then he did, and the game was over just in the blink of an eye. I mean, and it was his 10th home run he's given up this season. I mean, I don't know. Like, you have any? Is there a solution with Tanner Scott at this point, Anthony? Sorry,
I don't see an obvious fix right now. Like, they've worked on his mechanics. They've said they've gotten him better, which I think is probably accurate, because he's been around the zone more consistently, and that was a little bit of an issue earlier in the season. His misses in the zone, though, are getting pounded, and it's not like he never threw the ball in the zone before. And so, without looking at, like, spin rates and all of that stuff, I don't know if his stuff is just diminished or what the situation might be. But, like, at this point, it feels like everybody in that situation is at a loss. Very similar to, like, what Mookie went through before kind of the turnaround. It just was like everyone's throwing their hands up of, like, what's wrong with this situation. The velocity is where he can probably live with it. It's just the swing and miss isn't there, and they're barreling up pitches in the zone against him.
Yeah. It's I mean, been brutal to say the least.
We got a quote from Tanner Scott. He said, "It feels terrible. I have to figure it out because baseball hates me right now." So
baseball's not the only one, bud.
I also feel like it's not like just it's baseball kind of issue. Like, everything's over the heart of the plate, and that's going to get hit. So Yeah, I don't know if it's a baseball problem. It seems like a him problem.
It's the it reminds me of another pitcher whose name we don't need to specifically mention, but he claimed to be a great pitcher, except for when his pitches were in the strike zone, they were getting hammered every single time. Tanner Scott has apparently fallen into that unfortunate category. But let's keep going with all these super chats. Jonathan says, hearing that Tyler Glasnow will need to miss his next start due to complications from his hotel bed sheets having a low thread count. So, Jonathan, I thought this was a serious super chat at first. I was going to remind you and say, like, as of now, the Dodgers are expecting Glasnow to start next week. But then I saw this is like the meme. What's that you had me in the first half or whatever it is.
I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, that happened. That happened to me. Jonathan, I think we appreciate the comedic relief tonight. Gak says, everybody needs to chill. We are obviously tanking for Arch.
Maybe he can close games.
Maybe. He doesn't have a fastball. I'll tell you that.
Do we want him after that start?
Maybe not. Runner on second said, sad part was I saw the walk-off coming even with 2 Ks. I'll peel the curtain back a little bit. The impetus behind this show tonight that Anthony, Blake, myself are doing was I asked if there's a Tanner Scott walk-off, do we go live tonight? Because I felt like there would be a lot to discuss and you guys would want to join us. Yeah, here we are.
It happened.
Unfortunately.
Did you speak it into existence, Matthew?
I'm not going to say I did, but I don't think I can say that I didn't. I'll let the people decide. I'll let the people answer that one. I'm going to plead the fifth for now. Shelly says, how do we turn this around? Teo is so disappointing to me. Anthony, I'll come to you because Blake and I were discussing before you hopped on, like kind of revisiting some of the trade deadline conversation we had earlier today during the game. And I sort of landed at this point, like, yeah, it is sort of like Dodgers are kind of counting on Max Muncy and Tommy Edman to cut. Like that's, I don't want to call it the last hope, but it sort of is at this point.
Yeah. And I think I'm sinking to the point of like, I don't think Max Muncy coming back fixes the issues that this team currently has. Like we're all pissed off at Tanner Scott, but like the bottom line is you shouldn't lose a game that you give up 2 runs in. Not with the names in this lineup, even when some of those guys are hurt. You figure that they can score 3 runs. So it helps, but like at this point, is it putting a Band-Aid on like a terminal illness? Like are they that broken yet right now? I mean, this is not new. And I know it started and the depths of it were like really spurred on by a lot of injury stuff. And obviously Mookie and Freddie being down for a while and Mookie from almost the whole season. A lot of that kind of, factors in, but at some point, this is kind of who they are offensively. Yeah. And if that means it's a huge disappointment and they're just a completely inconsistent and mediocre to bad offensive team, that might be who they are. And if that's the case, they are going to need this starting rotation to be fully healthy, all 5 guys available and ready at a moment's notice, and not only healthy, but totally lights out. That is their path if the offense looks like this.
I think, yeah, and I think we've sort of like we've expressed that thought on this show. And real quick, the chat is letting us know that the Padres lost to the Rockies tonight. I guess Machado grounded into.
It could be worse. With all of this, it could be worse.
Grounded into a double play, which I will say, like, great. The Padres lost, so the Dodgers still are, I think, 2 games ahead of the NL West. But like, there are bigger fish to fry for the Dodgers. Like,
yeah,
I don't want to say who cares, but sort of like who cares, because let's say the Dodgers, and I'm going to phrase it this way just because of the way it's trending, sort of lose their way into the NL West title still. They get into the playoffs playing this way, it's going to be a short October for them. Back to your point, Anthony. I think we've been sort of expressing that, hey, starting pitching, it rounded into form in August, and that's going to have to be what carries them. What concerns me with that, and Blake, I'll come to you, because I know we were kind of discussing it before we started, we could still see things like tonight where they lose 2-1 or they lose 3-2. So as much as like, yeah, the starting pitching is going to have to be the strength, there's still a big kind of pitfall for them.
Yeah, for sure. I've always been of the mindset that offense wins in the playoffs and wins championships. We can see the pitching can be just great, and then if the offense doesn't do anything, they're going to lose. And there's been games we've seen where pitching, like you've had great matchups of like Verlander and Kershaw type stuff, and it's still the hitting that wins out in the postseason always.
Typically, though, Blake, because you're right, like the teams that end up with the trophy are typically good offensive clubs, but they're not trash pitching teams either. They're pretty good.
I agree. Like pitching can lose you the World Series or lose you a playoff series, but I think offense is still like you need to have a really good offense to win in the postseason because typically you're facing the best pitchers every night. You're facing top bullpen arms every single night instead of like the Yohan Ramirez's of the world coming out like you see in the regular season. So like that's the biggest concern for me, and it's disappointing because the Dodgers finally have like probably the best pitching staff they'll ever take into October that we'll see in quite some time.
They might have the best pitching staff that anyone's ever taken into October, relatively speaking. Like
starting pitching staff
is probably better than that Phillies one with Hamels, Lee, Oswalt, and who am I forgetting here?
Joe Blanton.
Yeah, clearly, yeah.
But yeah, like they still need the bullpen to turn things around and figure it out. But like they need the offense to click. Like they built this team around the offense as much as they did with the pitching, and the offense just hasn't shown up.
Yeah. All right. We have a bunch more super chats. Thank you, everybody who's joined us. We're up to about 1,500 people on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. We've gotten a bunch of super chats on YouTube, and so we are getting through these as quickly as we can. The next one's from Gabriel. It says 5% of tonight's losses on Tanner Scott. The other 95% belongs to the offense. Yeah, I mean, we discussed, kind of the different elements to tonight. Yeah, not there's one bad pitch, and yes, unfortunately, it cost Tanner and the Dodgers tonight. Another one from Runner on Second says, "Man, why does this team love to swing at ball four?" I think some of it's just pressing right now. Like the team feels Miguel Rojas like we've discussed, kind of leadership in the Dodgers clubhouse and who's the voice and this and that. Blake and I think have kind of said, hey, like Miguel Rojas is sort of somebody with Austin Barnes gone, Justin Turner not around, Max Muncy like a little bit, but I don't know how much he necessarily vocalizes it. Mookie and Freddie, I think, lead more by example rather than verbally in a lot of cases. Clayton Kershaw obviously is another one who's synonymous with the Dodgers, been around for X amount of years, but it's hard for a starting pitcher, I think, to take on that type of role. So we've seen James is booing Miguel Rojas. I mean, I don't know what issue you have with Rojas at this point, honestly. Like he's one of their better players right now, and he's putting together quality at bats. But back to this question, the Runner on Second, Rojas alluded to, the team isn't having fun right now, and he said like he thinks, and he prefaced it with not necessarily wanting to speak for the entire team, but his belief was as the losing sort of started, I think he went back to July, he has felt that pressure has sort of mounted on the Dodgers and that they have felt that. So, I mean, Anthony, do you think that's impacting their approach at the plate a bit?
For some of them, yeah. I think particularly like you look at what the order looks like maybe after Freddie Freeman, I think that group is a lot more susceptible to we're struggling and everything gets tighter. They hold on to the bat tighter. Their decision making in the box isn't as clean, isn't as good. I think those even when those other guys are struggling, Ohtani, Freeman, Betts, I think for even Max Muncy to an extent, I think for the most part they're okay. I think it's the other guys that really struggle with like, okay, we know this as a team, we're not producing, we're not scoring. I have to do something here, and especially like guys on base, I gotta drive the ball here, and it's led to really unproductive and ugly at bats. Like they're not passing the eye test either.
Yeah, Blake, anything you want to add on this topic?
I think Anthony covered a lot of it. I will say, like to the joy and fun part that Rojas was talking about, like it's hard to have fun and showing up every day when you're losing every day. I wouldn't expect there to be much joy in the clubhouse right now. So I guess you could kind of interpret that as somewhat of a good thing. Like they're not just laughing it off and going about their day. Like they are frustrated and mad and want to get it turned around. I think Freddie just had a quote saying, like, there's no excuses. We have to turn it around. So, like, they know what needs to be done. It's just sometimes it's easy to say it and difficult to actually go out there and do it.
Blake, not to put you on the spot, but NS is saying put on your Jar Jar hat so the chat can feel better.
I don't even think I have it here. I think it's in my room.
Oh, no. Fake fan. Doesn't come prepared with his Jar Jar hat. And Blake says he likes Star Trek. Albert says these players need to show up. It's embarrassing. And then he has a facepalm emoji. Yeah. I mean, it's not been pretty. Jonathan says if, quote, anyone could manage a great roster, Buck Showalter, Jace Tingler, Don Mattingly, and Joe Madden would all have jobs. Roberts is the best in MLB. Jonathan, you are brave for putting this into the chat because I don't imagine it's going to go over all that well. As much as, there is merit to that. And that's something that we have discussed at length on our shows last year, this year, years before that. I know Dave Roberts is coming under fire again for, kind of the Dodgers struggles and how they've looked in losing Anthony. You and I, like, we were ringing the alarm bell about 3 weeks ago saying, hey, like, losing is one thing, but the way that they have started to lose is another thing. And that is sort of like continued now for several weeks. I think some of that does fall at Dave Roberts' feet a little bit. I know, like, I don't want to get into the whole he needs to, throw a trash can and slam doors and flip tables and this and that. I do wonder, though, are we at the point of he needs to maybe address the entire team? And he was asked about it, I believe, when I was down in San Diego for that series. And he said, look, the pitching is doing its job right now. It's the offense. And one reason why I don't necessarily want to call a team meeting is I don't want to waste everybody's time. If I have a message, like, I'll talk to hitters, and I am talking to, maybe smaller groups of guys or one-off conversations here and there. But are we at the point, it came out after the fact last year that he gathered the team around in Atlanta when Glasnow, when he was, had his bullpen shut down and this and that, and he challenged Walker Buehler. Like, are we at the point of maybe something similar needing to happen now this year?
I mean, do we know it hasn't happened yet?
That's fair. That is a fair point. And I will say that Dave Roth, like, some of his comments have sort of implied and hinted at, like, there have been conversations. It's been hard to decipher if it's been 5 players, if it's been the entire position group, if it's been 10 players, if it's been with maybe Mookie, Freddie, and Kershaw saying, hey, here's my message. Go, like, you guys, go talk to the guys type thing. So that is a fair point. But if it hasn't happened. Sure.
Yeah. I mean, if it hasn't happened, it would be time to, like, you can now gather the entire team, even though there's, like, even though the rotation has been really, really good, a couple of recent clunkers, but aside from that, like, they've been great. Like, they are not the problem. But I do think, given just the state of things, it would be okay to gather the entire team in the clubhouse and say, like, all right, guys, look, we've had conversations before, but after that, like, I don't know what he would say that hasn't already been said or isn't already known. And I saw, I saw somebody say, like, he doesn't hold anybody accountable, or the team doesn't hold anybody accountable. I disagree. Teo just got benched. Michael Conforto, for the most part, has lost his everyday job, which it was an everyday job prior to, like, the trade deadline. Alex Freeland just got sent down because he wasn't producing. Like, they are holding people accountable. But at a certain point, like, guys have to perform, because you can't just be like, all right, you know what, Tanner Scott or whoever, you're gone now. Now we're going to go get somebody else who's better than you are. Like, it doesn't work that way. And so you kind of have to ride with what is in the clubhouse right now, and how he fixes those, like, how you expect the manager to fix those issues, I don't know. Everyone says, like, he should do something. Like, okay, then what is the answer? What is that answer? Because I don't know what it is, aside from, like, these grown men who are professionals actually performing what's expected of them.
Blake, where do you fall on the team meeting if it hasn't happened yet?
I mostly agree with all that. Like, what is he going to do or say that's going to change how they're playing right now? I think they're all aware of them not playing well and that they need to turn things around. I don't think a meeting is going to be the thing that's like, oh, we didn't know that. Now it's time to actually go hit and go play. It seems like a fantasy world. Like you hear about it every once in a while and it sometimes works for teams. And most of the times that it happens, you probably don't hear about it because it doesn't work for them. So like, I just don't think it's going to do anything. Sure, go flip a table or something, try and wake some guys up. I don't know. Maybe the front office needs to like go talk to them and say we're firing Dave, but not actually do it, just to like give them a wake up call. I don't know. Like there's no actual explanation for what to do because it's just players underperforming and they all know they're underperforming.
If team meetings worked like that, everybody would have them all the time.
Yeah. And I think that it would sort of be like, and I know that people aren't necessarily asking for this specifically, but like if Dave Roberts were to like start throwing things, like that's not in his nature, like that would come across as like, what is this guy doing? Like he never behaves. He never behaves.
And he's losing it. Yes.
So that would have it. And I know that that's not, I forgot who the super chat was from, so I apologize. He wasn't presenting it like that necessarily. Yeah, I don't know. And to Anthony's point, like we don't necessarily know if a full team meeting or kind of position player type meeting has been held already. Like that was a great point. Like I said, being there for some of Dave Roberts' comments over the last 10 days or so, like it sort of has seemed like conversations are being had at least with multiple players. And so
I agree. And I think even Rojas's comments and some comments that have happened prior to, like, I think it's hard for like just a fan base to sort of see that because they're not around the team every day or maybe kind of don't know what like some of that player speak is like sometimes. But like there have been comments that I've seen over the last couple of weeks that have made me think like they are talking about this. It's not like a taboo thing anymore because there are times when like teams go through it and the topic is sort of off limits. You just kind of don't broach it and you try to let it fix itself. I think they're way beyond that. I think this is a thing that has been talked about. It's being talked about, I would imagine. And Rojas's comments yesterday, I don't think he says that without having a temperature of the room. And especially as one of the guys who was kind of more of a vocal leader, I think those kinds of conversations are happening. It's just not working because again, it doesn't work like that. You just don't have the conversation or have that team meeting and all of a sudden you start playing better baseball. The way you play better baseball is you start producing more and they're not doing that.
Big Mac, thank you for this super chat. Not seeing your question or comment, so throw it in as just a regular question or comment and we will answer it since you already paid for a super chat. So thank you for that. Excuse me. Carlos wants to know who's the Dodgers' fourth string catcher. Blake, if it gets to that point, obviously Dalton Rushing, we heard his x-rays were negative. He's going to get a CT scan. I did see Bill Plunkett tweet that Rushing was on crutches in the clubhouse. So if a catcher is coming up, what are the options for the Dodgers?
Get ready to learn Chucky Robinson. I think their emergency catcher I think Dave Roberts said it was Alex Call. And then when he came out of the game today, I guess it would probably be Haesung Kim because he caught a little in Korea. And maybe Kike up there too, just because he probably wants to do it. But yeah, the options are slim if we have to go with a Ben Revert and Chucky Robinson catching combo for the next few days.
Anthony, you're you skeptical of Dodger injury updates. How confident are you that Will Smith and Dalton Rushing both of them will be on the active roster by Wednesday?
Will Smith's going on the IL.
Okay.
I don't see him coming back, even if he's like, you know what, I can fight through this. I think they're at a point in the season where at that point it'll be like you're going to spend 5 more days or whatever it is on the IL. Like we're just going to put you on there. So yeah, I think he's going on. I think based on what we've seen so far, and it sounds like Rushing is on crutches right now. I'd be shocked if he doesn't land on there. Yeah. And we're looking at a very dire situation behind the plate.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not as concerned about Smith. I think maybe they'll keep him around just from the standpoint of maybe he can pinch it, but I'm not sure he's even started like gripping a bat yet. And that's going to be certainly a big test.
Yeah, like I only think he goes on because it's already been a few days.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know what I mean? Like if this happened yesterday and then this rushing thing happened, then maybe the answer is different. But like I just it just feels like one of those situations where he's going to be on the IL.
Super chat from GFTG88. Austin Barnes got released by the Giants. Maybe the Dodgers pick him up. There would be plenty of irony there if Austin Barnes ends the season back on the Dodgers roster.
He wouldn't be eligible for the postseason though,
Right.
which is probably the thing that would prevent it if it does not happen. But yeah, you want your veteran leadership coming back. There you go.
Yeah.
Big Mac, I think this might have been their question or comment for the super chat. Says, you all are talking about what is not going to work, but nothing is happening. I feel like that's saying like I'm not.
Yeah,
not
maybe.
sure.
I mean, he may be considered, or whoever, Big Mac, he or she may be talking about like we're saying.
Oh, here we go. Maybe. Oops, sorry. Oh, sorry. There we go. You talk about everything that would not make a difference, but by doing nothing, we're slowly sinking.
Again, we're not saying they're doing nothing. Like I can promise you, no one is silent about this stuff in that clubhouse. Like you may not believe it, but they're more pissed off than the people in the chat are. You know what I mean? Like they're the ones out there in the spotlight. Like, and I used to think differently. Like I used to be very similar to like this comment and like, some of the other stuff I see on social or whatever. And I had I think I brought this up before. I had a really long conversation one night. We were in the clubhouse till like 1 a.m. after game with Mike Cameron, who's a veteran outfielder. And we had it was a conversation about this kind of stuff and like what goes on that other people don't see. And sometimes that even the media doesn't know about. And these guys are doing all the things that you think they should be doing. They're trying things. Again, how does that team meeting stop Andy Pages? I'm just using Andy as an example here, from chasing a pitch down and out of the zone, with 2 guys on base and less than 2 outs. It really doesn't. Like that's not how those kinds of things work. And so, we're saying that those things don't just flip a switch like that. But I can promise you, they're not doing nothing. And guys who are struggling are out there for early work. They're in the cages underground taking swings. Like, I mean, no one is showing up to the ballpark at 6:15, putting their uniform on and then walking out onto the field going, okay, I'm here.
Yeah.
Like they're working. It's just, it's not working.
That's what I was going to throw this comment up from Matty Man, who's in here with us all the time. He says, they're doing stuff. It just sucks.
Matty Man's right. He's totally right. Yeah. And sometimes it's just you have a bad team, and I have to be facing the facts that this is not a very good Dodger team right now.
Yeah, I think that is definitely the case. And I think to go back to Big Mac's maybe criticism of whether us or the team, when we say like another factor that you need to take into account is we're more than a month past the trade deadline. So in terms of like available options, few and far between. Like your team is your team. Sure, maybe Brock Stewart comes back from the injured list. Tommy Edman, Max Muncy. Yeah, I was going to say like if you think Ryan Ward can save this team,
catch,
but, but like short of that, like there are just limited options with what the Dodgers can do. And as Anthony said, as Matty Man said, like they are trying things. They are like, Ha-Seong Kim just came back and he got a start, and so like it sort of is what it is right now. It's on this core group of guys that you have been watching for the last month to figure it out. And if they don't, then we'll be here in early October. Next super chat, Cole. Did Doc hug Yohan before yesterday's game? Is that why the Dodgers lost? More hugs, Doc. It can't hurt. Yes, obviously referencing the Yohan Ramirez exchange, I guess, that he had last year when he was still on the team. And now Yohan, he closed out the game for the Pirates, right? Is that he was in there for the 9th inning, I think it was last night, or the 8th inning?
Because they scored all those runs in the 9th and then went to the closer.
That's right.
But a doc hug might actually help this team more than a team meeting, if we're being honest.
Maybe. I mean, Yohan did sort of pitch well after that, right? Like for a little bit. I think I've seen this question a couple of times, John. I don't know if it's been you asking. He wants to know why Kim was pulled so early. That was a left on left matchup. The Dodgers have shown time and time again, whether you agree with it or not, that they don't want Ha-Seong Kim facing left-handed pitching very much. I know that he has come up with some hits. I asked Dave Roberts early at the first time the Dodgers were in San Diego, because Ha-Seong had gotten a double that night, if he was sort of, maybe earning more opportunities against lefty pitchers. He said yes. I don't remember how many more have come of that since then. Yeah. But, it is what that's their strategy. And, for the most part, they stick to it. LLM 213, is this team cooked? Yes, no, feels like an early exit.
They're marinating. They're marinating. They're not cooked yet. And the only reason they're not is because of the rotation and the state of the rotation currently. We'll see what Glasnow situation is, but even if he's hurt, you got 5 pretty quality starters right now. You only need 3 to 4 in the playoffs. So that is the only reason, but they're being prepped. I'll say that. They're very close to going into the oven.
Yeah, that's a way to put it.
Also, they're not quite cooked either, because the Padres are just absolute garbage right now.
Yeah, but I mean, look, like I said, they might back their way into the division, and then they get into the playoffs. If they're still sort of struggling like this, then
no, I mean, no, totally. But like, cooked is like,
I see what you mean.
The division is going to be lost, and you actually are so bad you might not make the playoffs. Like, I don't think they're there yet. Like, they're going to probably win the division, I still think. And even if they end up in a wild card series, they're going to have home field. So like, and with that, again, with that rotation, you give yourselves at the very least a puncher's chance.
Yeah, I agree. I think the concerning aspect at this point is they are like sort of day by day, like getting every day that passes one step closer to having to play in the wild card series. And when you have a team that's struggling like this, an offense that's not necessarily hitting, a short series like that can be dangerous. Aaron, an astute viewer, says Anthony with the Lakers merch, he's done with LAD, and then he has a laughing emoji. Hey, the Lakers are undefeated right now, right? They haven't lost.
All the hope in the world exists for Lakers.
Blake, how are your Celtics looking?
I have no idea, but I saw the Chargers just won. Little upset there, so some LA fans, probably all 4 of them in the chat, can be happy.
There we go. That's a big ding in the Patrick Mahomes best quarterback of all time conversation, right? Is that a point for your guy Brady?
No one has actually seriously had that debate.
Oh, okay. Cole says losing is one thing, but who they lose to is ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, it's been bad, and I know.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it's how they're losing. I think it goes back to that too. Like, you're gonna lose games to bad teams every now and then, but like, the calamity of errors, or the base running stupidity, or the bullpen completely melting down in a game when they score 6 or 7 runs, like stuff like that, right? It's just like, man, it's wearing on us as fans. That clubhouse has to just be like, the weight in there and the tension in there has to be so heavy. Like, it's got to be. It's crazy. Like, I've covered losing teams before, and teams that have had expectations. The Mets, when I covered them, were supposed to be a really good team, and they were terrible. And like, you can feel it. Like you guys are in the clubhouse for this team. Like, I don't know if it's quite there yet. Maybe if they like get swept this weekend and come home, like maybe that vibe might feel different. But it is something that is real when a team keeps losing the way they're losing. Like tonight, you get walked off, but it's not like you got walked off and you lost 6-5. You got walked off, you lost 2-1.
Yeah. I had a thought. I drew a blank. Blake, do you have anything you want to add?
I mean, I guess the counter to that would be like, is losing 6-5 better if your pitching isn't as good then? Like, I feel
but I think it means
feels
like,
different. It feels different.
Yeah, like it could be, because you can lose 6-5 and go, the offense actually performed pretty well, and then maybe your starting pitcher went 5 innings and gave up 2 or 3 runs, which is not a terrible complete catastrophe. And then maybe the bullpen blew it at, in the 8th and 9th inning, something like that. It's a different kind of feeling than like at any point in tonight's game. Were any of the 3 of us confident that when they got runners on base that they were going to actually score?
Not me.
Not me. And you looked at the game, was it Wednesday, when Freddie hits into that double play and the way Mookie peels off, that right there, it was a subtle thing and maybe not everybody even saw it. But I think that's something that could end up being like a sort of the season in a nutshell. Like if you didn't see that, go back and watch it. Like he doesn't even get halfway down the baseline because he sees it's going to be a double play, and he's just like we cannot do anything right is basically what that was his reaction. So I do think that there's a difference in like a 6-5 kind of loss versus like tonight, where it didn't matter how many guys if they would have gotten the bases loaded with nobody out. Is anybody still confident they're going to score maybe more than once?
Yeah,
no, but I think
Mookie needed to hit a home run tonight instead of a double, I think was the problem.
Yeah, 2.
He needs to know that he's going to be stranded on second base. Just hit the home run. Just take the double out of play.
But I think going back to like the 6-5 loss thing versus a 2-1 loss, we've seen so much this year where this team just can't get synced up on either side of the ball. Like the nights where they are scoring 5 runs, they do end up losing by 6 because the pitching falters that one night. And then the next night when they get shut out or score 1 run, the pitching's phenomenal. And that's kind of just been the entire trend throughout this whole year. Like they just can't figure out how to get on the same page at the same time. And there's maybe like 3 games. I think it might have been against the Reds where Dave Roberts said, like, these were the most complete games we've played all year. And there's some optimism there. And then it just kind of fell back off track again. And just every single night, either the pitching's bad or the hitting's bad, or they do something dumb on defense or the bases that cost them. And they can just never fully play a complete game.
So
you
basically,
know where those things are common at that Blake is hitting the nail on the head on with this team right now. But, you see those things all the time when you're a bad team.
Yeah. And that, Blake, what you basically were pointing out is the Dodgers are consistently inconsistent, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, like we see the talent sometimes show up and then the next night it just falls off.
Yeah. The point I was going to bring up that I forgot now, it has come back to me. My recommendation would be for everybody watching this, listening to this, don't get old. It's not fun. But what I wanted to point out is what I found, I didn't realize until Steven Nelson brought it up. I think it was at the end of the Pirates series. The Dodgers have been swept in 5 out of like their last 7, excluding this Orioles one, like 5 out of their last 17 series. That I can understand how it's happened because we've been on here a lot of these shows saying the Dodgers are playing so poorly and this, that, and the other. I can't understand it from the standpoint of I have come on these shows and saying, hey, like if the Dodgers take 2 out of 3 against a bad team, it's still a series win. It is hard to sweep teams in Major League Baseball. And I still stand by that. So then to hear that the Dodgers have been swept 5 times in the last 17 series, like it's almost unfathomable. I couldn't believe it. And I mean, yeah, I think it's obviously a result of kind of the inconsistency that Blake pointed out. And Anthony, you mentioned, like, they're not a good team right now. And they haven't been for a while. And I know that we, in May said, hey, it is only May. It still is only June. It still is only July. I'll speak for myself. I'm guilty of thinking that at some point things would kind of start to click for this team, whether it was health and or players just finding their swings type thing. And it just hasn't happened. Yeah,
that I think that fully switched off for me after the series in San Diego. And then I even said, so they lose 2 or 3 in San Diego. They win on that Sunday, and then they go and they proceed to sweep the Reds at home. Jeff and I did a Tuesday show, and after they had won that game, and he asked me something along the lines of, I think, like, are you back in on this team, basically? And I was like, no. Like, I have to see some consistency here. And I think we even talked about it on Scott's show, like during his debut week, about like, I can't be in on this team until they show some sort of consistency for longer than a 3-game stretch. And they have not done it yet. And I think it's ever since, coming off of that, the sweep against the Padres, I was like, okay, here we go. They're gonna find it now. And everything has just been a sputtering start since then. And it just I'm resigning myself to like, this is not a really good team. And the only saving grace that they have currently is that this rotation, for the most part, right at this moment, is healthy.
Yeah, I agree. Real quick, I want to pause and thank everybody who's joined us again on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. We're at about 2,000 watching this live. As a reminder, you can read and find all of our content at DodgerBlue.com. We are publishing a bunch of stories there every single day, whether it's an off day, whether they're losing, whether they're winning. And also, if you're listening via podcast after the fact, thank you. And if you want to check out our podcast, maybe you find yourself driving in the car, sitting in some LA traffic at some point. We're on Google, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Just search up DodgerHeads or Dodger Blue, and it'll bring it up either way. And as a reminder, if you are on YouTube, please be sure, if you could do us a huge favor and give us a thumbs up on this video, and also subscribe to the channel. We're getting close to not getting close, but we're making progress towards 100,000 subscribers, and that'll be a nice milestone moment that we want to share with you guys. I've mentioned before, we have a giveaway, maybe 2 planned once we are able to get there. So we're slowly but surely starting to make progress on that. Adam wants to know any updates on Dalton Rushing. I think this super chat came in earlier in the show. So Adam, if you missed it, x-rays were negative. He's going to go for a CT scan. Rushing was seen using crutches in the Dodgers clubhouse. So, I guess somewhat encouraging that x-rays were negative. But again, we've seen it in the past, and x-ray isn't always the most conclusive testing you can have, especially if there's some swelling, which I imagine there is. Tyler says the team mindset should follow Mookie's, except that they are not going to salvage a great regular season. Just grind every at bat, and what will be will be. It's a good point, and this is something that Dave Roberts has alluded to with, saying that the other players, the team in general, can benefit from Mookie's mindset of just giving up on, what your stat line is going to look like for this year, because it is a lost cause. Like, even if you go on a crazy run for the end of the month, like, it's only going to make your overall numbers look so good type thing. I don't know if, and it could just be my personal belief, I don't know if players are necessarily chasing personal production right now. Sure, maybe there are bats here and there where you see bigger swings than you would like. I believe that is more of just pressing and trying to do what you can, like trying to do too much because the team is struggling for so long. Blake, do you see the same thing, or do you feel like maybe things are still a little bit too individualistic for these guys?
I think it's a bit of both. I think some players aren't fully bought into that kind of mindset of team first mentality. I think you see too many guys chasing out of the zone, and that's not I know players are going to do that. Baseball's hard. Pitching is really good, but it's just happening way too much for me to say they're in the mindset of trying to take a walk or move or run a rover type thing. But I do think some players have also bought into that. So I'm kind of at a mix of it. It's hard to say with such a small sample size of things, and there is inconsistencies in baseball. So I don't know. Ask me again before October.
Fair enough. Jedi Engineer says, let's not forget that the 2 hits in the first inning would have been out at Dodger Stadium. He's referencing the Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman fly balls. Blake, I know you tweeted.
Mookie's wouldn't have been. Mookie's was only 3 of 30 stadiums. Freddie's would have. It was 16 out of 30. So, yeah.
Francisco Diaz says, I'm starting to reach my breaking point, and the hope I have for this team is spiraling like an open drain. I now see why Rojas said what he said, sadly. We touched on a lot of that during our discussion so far. Laura says, imagine being a Padre fan and they are not taking advantage of Dodgers' downfall. Dodgers are handing them the division. Anthony, you've prodded a little bit in some Padres live shows. How are they holding up as their team struggles right now as well?
They're totally out on this team.
Yeah.
They are out on this team. They love that the Dodgers are terrible, but they have zero faith in the Padres. If it's possible, they look worse than the Dodgers do right now. It's pretty bad over there. But look, I was having this conversation with somebody else who's a beat writer for a different team today, actually. And that this person was going on a show and he was like, "Hey man, have the Dodgers really been that bad? Like they're going to ask me national questions and I don't follow the Dodgers. Can you give me some stuff?" So we were talking about it, and we were saying that there's no team really right now in the National League. You look at those teams that are like playoff bound for the moment. Nobody strikes fear into anybody else. Yeah. The Brewers fan base is going through it. Their chats look like these. The Padres, like I said, the Phillies fans are playing a little bit better, but they're wondering like long term what their actual chances are without an ace.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
They got Buehler.
Yeah, they haven't seen Walker Buehler in October yet, so they might have a saving grace there.
They don't. That fan base doesn't know that they just added their October ace, so yeah, they'll find out soon enough. But I like there's no team out there that's like, man, look at all these other teams that are terrible. Like we have a stranglehold on this league. Like we're gonna win the pennant. Everyone has major issues right now, and it's almost like who fixes themselves first. Yeah. And that's why I don't think the Dodgers are fully cooked yet. Like I'm very down on them. This is probably the most down I've been on this team since I've been on DodgerHeads. But if they carry this rotation into October, I'll keep saying it. It's the best pitching staff in baseball, or the best starting rotation in baseball.
I wish you would have been around in 2023, because when the Dodgers punted that trade deadline, I came on here and said, Dodgers are punting, then I've punted. This team is not going anywhere this year. I ended up being sort of right, but also sort of wrong, because as I like to remind people, Lance Lynn made playoff history with the home runs he ended up giving up that October. So Blake and I got to witness that. We drove out to Arizona for what were we there, Blake, for two, and only ended up being 2 days, I think, right? It was one game, but we went the night before, and so it was
that restaurant was really good though.
Yeah, that is true. And we got to experience I had been to Chase Field once as a fan. It was my first time covering a game there, so at least got to check that off. Irvine Cattle Ranch says Conforto on the team is the Dodger team. I'm not sure.
I think he's saying Conforto is bad, so the Dodgers are bad.
Maybe.
As Conforto goes, the Dodgers go.
Or it's that. Jedi Engineer, this came in as we were discussing kind of the team meeting stuff. He wants to know if the Dodgers have tried watching Bull Durham as a team yet. Blake, have you seen this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I will be I have not seen this movie. So Anthony, I'm assuming you probably have.
I have, yeah. It's not a great baseball movie in my opinion.
Okay.
But
it's no Angels in the Outfield is what you're telling me.
It's no Rookie of the Year.
Oh, Rookie of the Year. Okay.
Or Little Big League.
Okay. Yeah, can they get a kid managing the team?
What about Sandlot? No.
Is it Moneyball?
No. You've never seen the Sandlot?
No, I've seen the Sandlot. I'm saying it's this Dodger team Moneyball.
Oh, maybe.
Is Conforto Hatterberg?
J.Y. Kim says this is a newbie question, but how much break is there between the regular season and the postseason? Is there enough time for mental and physical reset for the players? If you get a top 2 seed in the National League or the American League, yes, because then you go straight into the NLDS and the other teams have to play in the wild card series. If the Dodgers end up in the wild card series, which as of this moment, that's the way it's looking, then there's going to be, I think, just a 1 day off. I forget if the wild card games start Tuesday or Wednesday, but I know that the regular season ends on a Sunday later this month. So it'd only be like 1 or 2 days before you're going into the playoffs. I guess the one sort of advantage at this point, if that's what you want to call it, is the Dodgers would be hosting the wild card series. So it's a best of 3. And whether it goes 2 games or 3 games, it would all be played at Dodger Stadium. So they're not traveling for that. But it's just not the way to go. It messes up. Anthony, you've highlighted their pitching and, that being one reason for optimism. But having to go into a short series, using your pitchers earlier, depending on how that unfolds, like it just throws everything off. It puts you behind the 8 ball going into the NLDS and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that's why it's not going to happen now. But that's why I thought it was so critical that they catch the Phillies. I don't see them doing that now. Not with I think the math is not in their favor in terms of like what the calendar looks like.
Yeah, I think I meant to. Let me see if I could pull it up really quick here.
I mean, it was just like the start of the week, right, where they were like 2 games back, a game and a half back of the Phillies, and now I think they're 4 back.
4 back. I mean, so you'd have to you'd have to gain a game before playing the Phillies, and I think you'd have to sweep them when the Phillies come to Dodger Stadium later this month. And
you at least have to win that series, and then for it to happen, they have to at least win that series. They have to stay where they're at. It can't get more than this. Win that series, and then the Phillies would just have to be bad for a couple of weeks. And then maybe you have a chance, but I don't see that happening based on the number of games left.
Yeah, I agree. Time is running out. Another super chat from Carlos. The only ones winning when the Dodgers lose is DodgerHeads. Loss equals more super chats, more viewers. Misery loves company. Thank you guys for all you do. Yes, look, when we know that if we're talking about things that you guys certainly have some stuff to get off your chest, and we want to come and be an outlet for you, if you will. And we enjoy, a lot of the back and forth, even if it's Manuel. I know he's been patient tonight waiting for us to get to some of the food stuff. Unfortunately, we've been slammed with baseball talk. So Manuel, bear with us. We will get to your favorite food topics at the end of tonight's show still. But Carlos, yes, we appreciate you. We appreciate everybody. As I mentioned, we're up to over 2,000 people who have joined us tonight. It's a Friday night, and you have a lot of other options to be doing. And we appreciate that you are spending time with Blake, Anthony, and myself. Let's see. More super chats here. We did that one. Cole wants to know if the Dodgers have tried sacrificing a chicken. I'm going to take this one down. I don't want PETA to come after us. I don't want YouTube to flag us either.
Can they do that in the arm
barn?
barn?
Major League.
What was that, Blake?
Can they do that in the arm barn just for PETA?
Maybe. Rod says, whoever wins the batting title this season will do so with the lowest average since 1968. Our other offensive stats down as well. Maybe it's not just a Dodger problem. I don't have either of you guys.
Yeah, when I saw they pulled them up. Runs scored is pretty similar. Arizona led last year with 729. This is through the end of August. I didn't count September. The Yankees are at 719 this year. The last team, Pirates, at 500. Last year is the White Sox, who were the last team with 420, but they were such an outlier. So I'm going with the Marlins at 513 last year. So runs scored all around is pretty similar. If we want to talk about league leaders and average, last year it was the Padres at 265. This year, the Blue Jays at 268. So nothing really jumps out as being an outlier or anything offensively. I think the Dodgers just have a lot of players who haven't performed up to expectations.
Yeah. And I think if Freddie Freeman hadn't gone through another sort of slump, downturn, same thing with Will Smith, like they were hitting in terms of batting average and obviously the batting title that Rod mentioned, like they were above 300. And now I think Trey Turner might be leading that now. Lieutenant Beaches says Roberts only hugs Conforto. I think this came in when we were discussing the Yohan Ramirez stuff. Dr. V wants to know, no Scott and Yates on the postseason roster, right? Anthony, how do you see Scott and Yates looking there for October?
I think as of right now, I think they need Scott still, unfortunately, for his up and down as he's been and mostly down lately. Yates is gone. I think. I don't see.
I know you. Is it Jeff who keeps saying that, or Blake? Are you on that train as well?
I was on he was on the injured list. I was saying he's going to make the roster, but now that he's come back and hasn't shown much, I think he's left off.
See, I still don't see it. Sorry, Anthony.
Kopech looked good tonight.
Anthony, are you saying Yates is off? Also factoring in your assumption that Brock Stewart isn't coming back?
Brock Stewart's not coming back.
So you still have Yates not making the postseason roster?
If you can only count on one scoreless inning from him every 3 appearances, I'm serious. I don't think you can trust him to be on that roster.
I just don't know what other options they have. I think that they'll trust that he's been there before type thing. He's a veteran, this, that, and the other. I don't know. I'd have to pencil it to see. I'd have to see a list of their projected bullpen, but I think both of these guys make it. Short of total collapses by either one of them for the next 3 weeks or however much time is left.
Yates has been in a total collapse for a while. How much worse do you want him to get, Matt?
I think Tanner Scott's a lock, regardless of what fans want to hear. There's no chance they leave off their $70 million reliever off the roster.
I agree.
I could see Yates kind of going either way, depending on how things finish out and who gets healthy and whatnot.
I'm with Blake too. I thought when he was on the IL, for that same reason he just mentioned with Scott, I thought he would make it. But the fact that he's basically shown nothing since he's come back, no improvement. Again, I just don't think they can afford to. And he's on a 1-year deal. It's not like they got to live with the guy beyond this.
It's fair. David says, "Thank God the Padres are playing worse than the Dodgers are," and then you put a bunch of laughing emojis. David, yes, hopefully nights at the, where does he like to? Is it Lamplighter? Is that what it's called? His restaurant?
Yes.
Hopefully nights at the Lamplighter are helping you get through these tough times with the Dodgers. Francisco says, "Can't believe I'm asking this, but it's a very slight possibility because the Giants are hot. 6 games out and 2 series left against the Giants. If the Giants pass the Dodgers and they don't make the playoffs, does Dave Roberts lose his job?"
No, Dave's not losing his job.
So I'm inclined to agree, but if the Dodgers don't win the division and they completely fall out, I know it's like difficult to fathom, but like don't make any wild card series at all, you think he's still safe? Because that's what I'm assuming Francisco, unless I misinterpreted, I think he's saying like Dodgers are out completely, like not.
I got that. Yeah, I mean they just extended him. He just won a World Series. He's just won 2 in 5 years. No. Look, for them to completely miss right now would be such the complete anomaly. It is not a managerial issue. Like you don't, the bottom doesn't fall out like it would take for that to happen. And for as bad as this seems, the bottom hasn't fallen out on this team. If that does happen, you're so far beyond it being a managerial issue.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. I mean, that would be tough. But yeah, I think having just extended him and won a World Series last year, that makes up for a lot of things.
Like I know managers are usually the scapegoat. Like I mean, it's just, it wouldn't be his fault if that complete collapse happened like that. It's just,
that's fair. Yeah, that's true. Jedi Engineer says, which rookie inherits the Kike Hernandez banana suit to bring back some good vibes? Blake, who are you picking on the team that you could see emerging from the clubhouse in the banana suit?
I feel like Haesung Kim would probably be like that player to do it, but I think it would be funny to see Jack Dreyer do it because it's like the total opposite of who he is. Like it just doesn't fit his personality at all. So it might bring them a laugh to see that kind of thing, like just sticking out is unusual.
Yeah, Kim would be my pick too.
Yeah. And real quick, you mentioned Jack Dreyer. I want to thank Steven Nelson. If you're watching the Sports LA broadcast tonight, he gave Jeff and our show a nice shout out. We did have Billy Gasparino on maybe about a week ago, 10 days ago or so. And there was an interesting Jack Dreyer story in there. He was undrafted, ended up with the Dodgers, not necessarily because of their scouting department finding a hidden gem, but rather Jack Dreyer's representatives insisting that the Dodgers sign their client. And so then after some digging, the Dodgers ended up signing him. So Steven, thank you. We know you listen and watch our shows. We appreciate the support and bringing some attention to our show on the broadcast tonight. That was great. I also, going back to the Kike banana suit, I would like to point out that the Dodgers have never lost a game when Kike Hernandez has brought 2 popsicles into the dugout and eaten them. I know that caused a big rage the day that he did it, but the Dodgers did win that game, and so maybe that's what it needs to be. Cole is saying to rub a blue pill on the bats because they're a little limp right now. Cole, thank you. Hawaiian Kira says maybe they need to go off script and leave him in for left on left. I think this came in when we were discussing Haesung Kim and the Dodgers not having him face left-handed pitching very much. Yeah, I mean, I'm not completely against. I think pinch hitting with like Kike, like that's I can see where that makes sense. I think had it been like Alex Call type thing, then I would have said like just let Kim have the at bat. Call has struggled since coming over. But yeah, in general, I mean, I wouldn't be fully opposed to that. Blake, I
feel like I'm the opposite. I'd rather see Call hitting than Kike, but I mean, when they gave Haesung Kim an extended run, he wasn't good. Like he was hitting around 200 and striking out quite a bit. So
he still wasn't getting a lot of at bats though against lefties.
I still just think they don't really view him as a legit major league hitter right now, and it was more kind of a fluke early in the season. So
yeah, no, that part I totally agree with. I'm just talking strictly about like giving the guy the opportunity or not. I would just rather see him like let him hit. He's healthy now, because I think some of that slump, those 60 at bats or whatever it was, like he was hurt for some of that stuff too.
that's fair.
Gotham 14 gave us a super sticker. Unfortunately, on the back end of our streaming platform, I can't see what it is, but thank you for that, Gotham. 20 wants to know, who do you guys think would be chasing stats? So this, I mentioned earlier that I don't know if players are necessarily still looking to improve or boost their individual seasons. More so, I think that it's just pressing. I don't know, Blake, do you, either one of you guys have, I don't want to necessarily put you on the spot, but either one of you feel that there's a player out there kind of still chasing individual production?
Probably Teo and Pajes probably would be my picks.
Those are the first two guys I thought of too.
Teo was benched, of course, for like Dave was saying he wasn't focused, not putting in effort. So like, I think that's the obvious one there, and he's swinging at a lot of pitches outside the zone. I think Pajes has been chasing a lot more recently, and he's also seen his stats come down from his hot start to begin the year. So I think naturally every player is chasing stats a bit because they want to perform, they want to get paid, they want to live up to their contracts. They're all competitive, but I think those guys, it's kind of standing out a bit more.
All right. Yeah, I think with Pajes, it's still more of just kind of a young player, like not necessarily being fully disciplined or I guess bought into kind of a team first approach. But
yeah, I mean, chasing stats in baseball is weird too. It's like a weird thing. It's not, it doesn't fit that easily, right? Like it's an individual sport at its heart, kind of like, you know what I mean? Like it's not like football or basketball or soccer in those ways. Like in basketball, if you're on a bad team and you're like Jordan Poole and you're going to throw up 35, 40 shots a night, that's different, right? Like you can actually do that. In baseball, you're only controlling it 4 or 5 times a night. And every single time, this team could be 40 games above 500 and guys are still going to be trying to do what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
So like baseball doesn't necessarily work that way, but like I get the spirit of the question, and to answer it in the spirit of the question, my answer is Teo and Pajes.
Yeah. All right, we're almost done with these super chats. So if you have any questions for us, we'll answer them here as we kind of wind the show down a little bit. Manuel, if you're still stuck around, be sure to throw your food question in. If anybody knows what food question Manuel may have had, throw it in for him, and we'll be sure to answer it. Lori, she's getting on us for the Bull Durham discussion. She says we're terrible. Bull Durham is great. Doc has to do the yell in the shower scene. Hit the ball, throw the ball, catch the ball.
Bull Durham's not a bad movie. It's just nowhere near the top of the pantheon of baseball movies. There are so many good baseball movies. Hollywood, like one thing Hollywood's done right is like baseball movies for the most part.
Okay. I haven't seen it, so I still like this.
I'm not a huge fan of it. So.
These references are going over my head. I did see there weren't super chats, but we had a couple of requests for Blake. Now I can't find them. Blake, somebody said, I think Hawaiian Kira said you should put on the banana suit. And Rod Wilson, oh, here we go. Rod Wilson said, Blake, another request for the Jar Jar hat. So, Blake, you let everybody down.
I don't think it's in here, but I have a Grogu bucket hat, if that works.
Does that work? Let us know. Blake will put it on for the last, 10 minutes or so of the show. And here's Hawaiian Kira saying maybe Blake in the banana suit will help everything. Aaron is saying, yeah, Bull Durham sucks. All right, let's see what other questions we had here. This one's asking, I'm not sure, Yoshishar is asking, what could Doc do with the lineup tomorrow? I haven't looked too far ahead, but are they facing a righty or lefty? Do we know?
I can check real quick.
Because that'll be a factor. I think the lineup is, for the most part, is going to look the way it has. And then if it's a righty or a lefty, that'll kind of determine if Kim is in potentially, if Conforto's in. Oh, here we go.
It's Trevor Rogers. He's a lefty,
right.
And he's been an ace this year. He's 1.39 ERA in 90 innings. So
that's right.
Yeah.
Conforto sits.
Yes.
Kim might have to play because he might have to catch.
Chucky Robinson on the way.
Kike is probably in the lineup. Rojas is probably in the lineup. Call might be in the lineup. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's That's kind of where we're at with it right now. Thanks for the question.
Yeah, there's not a lot of options at the moment.
I don't think Kim will play. I think Rojas at second,
Yeah,
at third, Mookie at short, Freeman at first, call Pajes and Teo probably in the outfield, and then pick your catcher behind the plate.
Yeah.
We had another super chat come in. This one's from Parker Lee. It says, World Series is not looking doable for this team. If the Dodgers don't win, what changes need to happen in the offseason? Who needs to go other than Conforto? What or who do the Dodgers need to add? And he finishes it with, he really hates the outfield right now.
Yeah. If they really do make a true run at Kyle Tucker, then I think they look for a trade partner for Teo. And I think there are people there will be teams out there, because I think other teams can use a DH. And I don't think he's totally washed. I think he's having a crap year. But I don't think he's completely gone. He might be. I'm not saying like it's totally, but like I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt here that he can have a bounce back season next year. So yeah, I think if they are serious about Tucker, then I think Teo could be gone. Obviously Conforto's not coming back. They'll bring back Muncy. Beyond that, I think it's probably just, for the most part, more bullpen work.
Like every other year. Although at least Tanner Scott is still under contract, so you won't have to worry about a closer.
Yeah,
And Brock Stewart.
You'll have to worry about him. You just won't go get another one, maybe.
Yeah, and Brock Stewart, yes, still under team control for 2 more years beyond this one? Is that what it was? Do you remember?
I think that sounds right. Yeah.
Kind of crazy. All right, let's see. We have some food ones. I haven't seen Manuel commenting yet. Well, here's another super chat. LM213, has Dave Roberts lost the locker room? I mean, I don't think so.
I'm not in there like you guys are all the time, but it doesn't seem like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think it's just a lot of guys struggling at the same time, and like it unfortunately happens in baseball, and it's been going on for a while for the Dodgers, but I don't think it's like a manager issue or anything, or them not listening to him. I think it's just a lot of guys struggling and not performing to the expectations.
Yeah, there are telltale signs too, like especially from the veterans, like they'll take those opportunities to give you like subtle responses that you could sort of read between the lines and go, oh, there might be an issue here with the manager. And there hasn't been any of that. Everyone's been pretty like, this is on me kind of situation when they've discussed it. So I don't think that's the case yet.
Yeah, I agree. I think TAH242 wants to know, Blake, what did you chug earlier?
Had a Propel. I tried them because Jeff was hating on them, I think, and I like them. So
I like Propels. Yeah.
I thought Jeff liked Propel, and you guys were giving him a hard time.
No, Jeff was vitamin.
I mean, he put Fruit Punch Gatorade as his #1 draft pick. Like
Jeff, come on.
No.
And then I mean, do we bring up Jeff's tweet today that he chose a diner and excuse me, like a, what did he say it was?
It looked like a dive bar kind of place.
Dive bar, that's right. Chose their early breakfast. He said it worked out, but he's been noticeably silent when we've texted. So I don't know if maybe a little bit of food poisoning or something has hit him now at night. We're gonna have to check in on Jeff tomorrow morning. Noisy Ninja says, this team has had the longest 2 seasons. Could it just be that they are tired, not old? I refuse to believe age is the reason for this free fall when they won the World Series last year. I do think that there is a little bit of merit to this. It has been a long 2 years so far. Like 1 and change the season isn't done yet. But I think we're all in agreement. Blake, you agree or disagree?
Can it be both things? Like they're going to get tired sooner because they're a more veteran and older team. They don't have that young energy that 23-year-olds are coming up and playing with. So I think there's both to it.
This is a conversation probably more for, maybe not more for, like we'll have a better, I think, understanding of it after the season ends, however it ends, whether they end up on top or they get eliminated after 2 games of the playoffs. But I do think that Blake's right. Both things are true here. I want to say it might have been the Dodger pregame show that was actually discussing this, or maybe it was a national show that I was watching. But this is a real thing. I think Noisy Ninja kind of hits it on the head here. And I think once the season does end, we can kind of take a step back here and look at like, all right, what did this all look like from the macro level? And I do think that it's a veteran team, and they're all on, a lot of the veterans are on the other side of 30. And that's not to say that the window's closed. It's absolutely not. But yeah, it is a real thing. It is a situation where they played all the way to the last game of Major League Baseball season last year, and they've played through this season, and it's a lot easier to get tired when you're having the kind of year that they're having. That's for sure.
Yeah, and then I think you obviously layer in injuries and stuff like that. It just
it's mentally taxing for them right now. It's got to be.
Yeah. Dong says Dodgers not cooked yet, maybe, but definitely being smoked low and slow like great barbecue. Then he asks, do you have any favorite smoked barbecue? He gives Moose a thumbs up, and smoked turkey heritage barbecue. Blake, do you want to take this chance to talk up Lucille's right now as your favorite barbecue spot?
I don't think I could name an actual barbecue spot off the top of my head.
Moo's Craft Barbecue is legit.
I haven't been there, but I've seen their menu. Like I've wanted to try it. Their menu looks good.
Yeah. Just the chat should just come over to my place, man. Like I'll throw the smoker back on. I made 4 steaks tonight, and we got it working.
Okay, there. Everybody heard it. Anthony said it on the live show. We are all invited to his house, so start throwing out dates in the live chat, and then we will coordinate with everybody, and we'll plan a big field trip over to Anthony's.
Just bring a bottle.
Okay. I'll throw out my dad's barbecue when he's barbecuing, just so he doesn't get on me later.
There you go.
Blake's making sure he doesn't get kicked out of the house by talking up his dad's food. All right, let's see what else we have. Speaking of, Aaron says food topic for tonight is, quote, hey guys, what's the best taco recommendation? Taco Bell. What's the best Chinese? Panda Express. Blake, what's your Italian go-to? Fettuccine Alfredo. Aaron, this was pretty spot on until the end. I would be the one saying it's fettuccine Alfredo, not Blake. Blake would be saying the chicken parm from IHOP. So Aaron, get it right next time, please.
I like fettuccine Alfredo more than chicken parm, but I like chicken in my fettuccine Alfredo, and you just like it plain. Gross. You're weird.
Oh boy.
Let's see. Laura wants to know, do we think there's any inner conflict in the clubhouse in terms of like cliques or stuff like that? I don't think so. I know that this has become a popular talking point on social media. I think a lot of it is just how poorly the Dodgers are playing and the losses, obviously. I have not seen any signs of disconnect, of rifts, of things of that nature. I think the Dodgers just haven't been very good this year, whether it's injuries, whether it's players getting a little bit older, whether, a whole list of things. But I don't see this as being an issue in the clubhouse.
Yeah, I will say there's probably always some little bits of cliques in the clubhouse. Like the relievers tend to be together all the time, so they become a little closer. And like the players speaking Spanish tend to hang out a little bit more with each other. And like Shohei, Yamamoto, and Roki are together a little bit more because they're all speaking Japanese. But in general, like I don't think it's an issue or anything or separating the team.
Yeah, those are the natural sort of separations in any clubhouse, I think. But yeah, I mean, I doesn't look like anything like that is an issue.
Yeah, I will say I don't necessarily think that there's an issue, but certainly they haven't clicked or gelled the way they did last year. And
yeah, but winning is the biggest
probably
glue factor there is.
Yeah. Let's see what else.
It's very rare that you get a Kobe Shaq situation where the team it dominates and players hate each other. Like that's really, really rare. Typically winning like cures all of that stuff.
Yeah. Tien wants to know, this is a good question. Was Shohei pitching angry today? And we haven't had a chance to really discuss Ohtani pitching tonight just because everything else that's sort of going on. It looked like Ohtani did have some expletives as he walked off the mound. Was it the end of his start or
it was the end of the start?
Yeah. He dialed up. I know I text you guys, like all of a sudden his velocity jumped to 101 in that final inning, the final batter that he was facing. angry. I don't want to put words in Tien's mouth. I'm going to interpret it angry from the standpoint of like motivated type thing, not like angry at the team or angry at the situation. But did you see? You see,
there was some frustration, I thought,
with like just but I think just like wanting to end the losing type thing.
Maybe there might have been some there for Rushing.
Well, yeah, that there was. Yeah, it did seem early. Yeah, early in the start, they had a mount. I noticed they had a mound visit. I don't know if Ohtani had gestured for him or something. Like there was. Yeah, I did pick up on that as well.
Yeah, it looked like too at one point Ohtani took over the pitch calling.
Yeah, which was interesting because in his last start, Rushing pointed out that Ohtani stopped calling pitches and let Rushing call them the rest of the game after like the first couple innings, and it went well. I think tonight it was a rough night for. I mean, even before fouling the ball off his leg, like it was a rough night for him. It was a rough night in Pittsburgh with the 2 wild pitches as well. Like, what did you think about whether Ohtani was angry or not? Just his overall start tonight, given the circumstances.
There's probably some anger in there. I think a lot of it was just like the team hasn't been winning. He wanted to step up, and we saw the velocity tick up once there was a runner on third with no outs, and that's when it seemed like he really locked in and got angry and started throwing 100 plus consistently. And I think he threw the hardest sweeper of his career in that at bat, his final at bat there. So like, yeah, there's probably a bit to it, but I think it's just Ohtani also trying to take it upon himself to step up and be the best player in baseball that he is and try and take over the game a little bit. So yeah, there's probably some annoyance and frustration with Rushing, but also like I think Ohtani's just really competitive, and he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that's gonna like get mad at his teammates too much or throw him under the bus or anything. I mean, he spent 6 years with the Angels and didn't do it, so yeah, I think it's just more him trying to step up and lead them to a win.
Were you surprised that they took Ohtani out instead of letting him just finish that inning once he got to 2 outs?
I think that's where the F-bomb came from. Assuming it was an F-bomb, that's what it looked like. But I think that's where that came from, is that I think he really wanted to finish that inning. And he was cranking it up because he knew that this was it. And he probably knew that if he didn't get himself out of it, that he was going to get lifted. And, when that happened, I think he was just frustrated. He didn't get to finish that inning.
Yeah. Norm wants to know, do you expect Friedman to stand pat or make changes on the fringes or make big changes this offseason if the team flames out? I think if they go ahead, Blake, sorry.
Yeah, I think there's going to be pretty significant changes, but not in the way fans want. Like they'll probably improve both outfield corner spots, and like that'll be their significant changes, and maybe add another good reliever or something. But I don't think it's going to be like fire Dave Roberts, trade Mookie Betts, or move him back to right field, or trade Freddie Freeman type stuff. I think it's just going to be more like we're going to try and improve on the spots where we weren't good last year, and think that makes them better moving into 2026.
Yeah, what'll be interesting is if like somebody like Kike is like I could see him, like I could see them, if they flame out, just not re-signing him type thing, going a different route on the bench. Miguel Rojas, I think, is there a team option on him?
I think they used it this year, wasn't it?
Let me look it up really quick.
I think he's a free agent after the year, but I mean, he's been their best player for like 3 months now. Do we want to see him gone?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was this year. So he's a free agent. Well, I mean, yeah, but like maybe he's brought back if, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's Anthony.
I don't see either of those guys as big changes though. I think like the drastic stuff probably, with Blake, I think probably happens in the corner outfield spots. Beyond that, I think they're going to tell us they still like the roster they have.
Yeah, wouldn't be the first time.
I think this time though, it's actually probably legitimately true. Like they're like you're not going to give up on Mookie Betts, a Hall of Famer, because he had a bad season, right? One bad season since you've gotten him. You're not going to give up on Freddie because he had a bad month. You know what I mean? So I think they mostly stand with those guys, and Pies is still developing. They have Edmund signed. They see what they have with Freeman, Freeland more long term. Same with Kim. Those, maybe some of the younger guys can break through that are closer. But I think if they say like, look, we're mostly standing pat aside from this, and look, Kyle Tucker would be a blockbuster kind of deal. So like, not to say that they wouldn't make a major change like that, but like for the rest of the roster, I think it's it's fairly safe that it's mostly going to come back. And I still think they would go into the season with top to bottom pitching staff and lineup as one of the best teams in baseball.
Yeah. There's probably a real path where their moves are just Edman every day in center field, Pajes in right field, Teoscar in left, Freeland, your starting second baseman, and kind of building around that. Like, I think that's something they could really consider.
That's a pretty good team, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm with you.
And then also like the Kyle Tucker aspect, we're talking about like, is this team too old? How bad has the defense been? Like, Kyle Tucker's not a good defender.
He hasn't solved either
out
of those
there.
things. Correct.
He's another large contract that's going to be over 30 years old for all of it. Like, is that the move you really want to make when we're talking about, does this team need a youth movement kind of thing? So yeah, it's hard to see them doing anything like really crazy this offseason, but I think we'll see some changes, like at some key positions.
And I don't think trades are out of the question either. Like, I know fans are frustrated that they didn't give up the prospects at the deadline, but the prices are like triple at the deadline than they are like over the winter. And I think if a trade happens and they are to part with some prospects, it was always much more likely to happen over the winter than it was in July.
Yeah. We have a couple more super chats, so let's make sure we get to these. Let me see. The first one, GB. This is empty, so if you had a comment or a super chat, just throw it in as a normal question or comment, and we'll add it since you've already done a super chat. Anthony, not our Anthony, but Anthony De La Rosa says, assuming they squeak into the playoffs, is there any way you can see this prolonged slump as a blessing in disguise? I mean, not really. I
don't think it's a blessing. I think the law of averages could kind of bounce back in their favor at the right time, maybe.
Yeah.
I think that's sort of the only way that I would see how this would work with the way the question is framed. The pitching they're going to face is going to be better than they're facing right now too, though, like on a game to game basis. So like typically like a team who struggled offensively for most of the season, or at least half the season, doesn't turn it around against better pitching.
Let's see. I don't know. Jedi Engineer, another super chat. Is Ramon Laureano worth a Teo type deal this offseason? He's finishing a 1-year deal now, or do we expect regression?
Everyone's worth a 1-year deal. But like if you're talking a 3-year kind of deal,
I think he's talking about that Teo, like 3 and an option year type deal.
Yeah. I don't know. I would have to dig more into that, but off the top of my head, the answer is no.
It's also, I feel like the Dodgers are also, maybe Blake, this is what you might bring up as well. The Dodgers are sort of in a tricky position of like, they have outfield prospects coming up that you don't necessarily want to fully block yourself. Like if it's somebody like Kyle Tucker, sure. Like that's, he's proven it several years over. But if it's Ramon Laureano, I'm not sure how old, do we know how old Laureano is? Either one?
31.
Okay. Blake, what's your view on this?
I'm a hard no on him because like this is his first good year in quite a while. In 2020 and 2021, he was about average. 2022, 2023, he was below average. Last year, he was about average. And this year, he's been like a superstar. So just not fully buying that. I mean, I think some other team will overpay him, and probably the Padres just because how good he's been.
That's what I was going to say. He might just end up staying in San Diego. All right. Awum says, really grateful to watch Ohtani. What keeps this man from saying no to anything the Dodgers ask of him? Contract deferred, 3-time unanimous MVP, and still took the ball on short notice. He says he has a lot of respect for him, puts a fire emoji. Yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a whirlwind for Ohtani. He was supposed to start against the Pirates, got scratched, not feeling well. They say he'll start sometime against the Orioles. My assumption was it was probably going to be Sunday. Then they say, actually, no, we're pushing him back into our homestand, give him a few more days of rest. And then lo and behold, the lineup comes out today and Shohei Ohtani is pitching. So we mentioned, all things considered, he pitched well today. So yeah, credit to him for being there, being a team player and taking the ball when they needed him to. Let's see. I think we have just a couple more baseball ones, and then I think we'll close with some food. Daniel says, are we overreacting with this team? Winning teams have gone through this, like the 21 Braves or 23 Rangers. Anything can happen in the postseason.
The 17 Dodgers.
Yeah, I think, that's what. Do either one of you remember, though, like that was a significant losing stretch in September, but did it feel the way this did? Like,
it felt pretty bad.
Yeah, it was. People were complaining and saying the season was over and everything. Like, it might have been worse than this right now.
It was. I would say it was worse than this. Yeah.
See, I don't. Maybe.
They lost. They lost 16 of 17 in September going into the playoffs.
I think though that I guess for me the conversation was different, right? It was more of they took their foot off the gas. They have too big of a lead, this and that. Whereas I feel like the conversation now is, are they even good enough? Like some fans are saying, are they even good enough to make the playoffs? Or, they're going to get bounced right away, this, that, and the other. So and it could just be recency bias. Like I will leave.
Yeah, I think it's more of that because we've seen this team win 106, 107, 108, 110 games and get bounced. And we've seen teams who are 90-win teams in the 90s make it to the World Series. So, I mean, the randomness of Major League Baseball's playoffs kind of works in their favor here, maybe. But I don't think we're overreacting because they're giving us proper reason to react negatively. But I think it would be an overreaction to say they have no chance. Again, I think if this rotation goes into the postseason as it is currently, they have the best starting pitching in baseball still.
Yeah, I don't think any of us have ever said like this team isn't going to win World Series guaranteed or they have no chance. Like I think we've always.
That's not coming from DodgerHeads. Let me clear that. That's not coming from anybody on our shows, but we're seeing it.
We always preface everything.
The question was asked because they're seeing it in the chat too.
We always preface everything with like this team can end up winning in the World Series, but right now they're a very bad team, and I don't think anyone can debate that.
Yeah, there are more reasons to be pessimistic than optimistic at this point with the way they've been trending, the way they've been playing.
Agreed.
But all of that being said, sure, if they could, Muncy can come back, Edmund can come back, they can flip a proverbial switch and go on a run for a month. And it turned out they were just saving their best baseball for the last month of the year, and then everybody would forget that they maybe not forget, but look past the fact that they struggled so much in September. But yeah, I mean, not a guarantee one way or the other. And that's one thing that we have continued to try to stress and emphasize throughout the season because crazier things have happened. Red Hat 42 says, when Mookie ages out of shortstop, what is his next position? Is it second base? I believe so. And I think to me, he has one more year at shortstop, I think next season. And then I think after that, he moves over to second base. That's my timeline. Blake, do you have anything different?
Probably, although it might be in the best interest of the team to move him to second base next year because Alex Freeland is a really good shortstop defensively. So, yeah.
Alex Freeland might not be able to hit his way into a major league roster spot.
That's also true.
So I agree with Matt. I think even if Freeland turns into a productive enough offensive player, he's not playing shortstop next season. They're not going to take a guy who's going to be a Gold Glove finalist in all probability off the position the very next season when they just gave it to him full time. So I think he's got one more year left. Then I could see the switch happening to second base. Yeah,
probably. But my pushback would be to that. Dave Roberts has kind of been a little more open to the idea that maybe shortstop is taking a toll on his body, and that's kind of why the power's down. So if they figure like that is part of the issue, like it might make sense just to move him. But I do agree it's not likely.
Yeah, and you know how that gets squashed is if he comes out of the gates next season and he has a good April, they're not really going to talk about that much beyond that. He would have to really tank after that for it to even be a thing again. Which we've seen him do because he was excellent last year coming out of the gate as a shortstop too, offensively.
Yeah. We have a super chat here from Mason. What was the moment you knew being a Dodgers fan wasn't just about watching baseball, but something that became part of who you are? And just for fun, what was your dream Dodgers team?
I want to go first.
Yeah, I wrote it when I moved to Milwaukee to become the Brewers beat writer. They asked me to do like an introduction column, like introducing myself to the city, and I wrote about like when I first like decided like this is the game that I want to be a part of and watch and cheer for. And it was the Kirk Gibson home run. That was like one of my very first baseball watching memories. And so yeah, for me that's kind of what drew me. And I think they could have lost that World Series and I was already going to be in, but like that's the moment that kind of sticks out for me.
Blake,
And then
anything
like
jump out?
it made me want to play, and like I played for a 2-time junior college finalist team. I was a second baseman on that team in 2000, 2001. Like went to 2 spring trainings and got axed on the first round of cuts at both of them. But like, it was an experience, and it was a thing that, I think it's sort of pushed me to the career that I ended up having.
Well, I wish you would have brought more of those details up sooner, because we would have promoted you more and maybe put you on the Dodgers radar to sign a minor league deal and then work your way up and help this team, Anthony. We wouldn't be sitting here doing all these shows with them losing.
I mean, I'm only 43.
Hey, that works. Like, anything stick out to you?
It was probably James Loney hitting that grand slam against the Cubs in 2008. That was like my first real baseball memory, but also like growing up in the Manny Wood era and Kershaw and Kemp kind of breaking out and becoming the stars of the team. Like that was probably it for me. Dream team, like that 2017 team. It was the first year I ever saw them go to the World Series, so had some tears after the NLCS, and then when they finally won in 2020, I was covering it as a CSUN student. I wrote for the paper there and wrote about that. So yeah, those kind of moments are the ones that stand out to me.
Yeah, that 2017 team was they just, not just because of the way they lost, but that team was a lot of fun. They deserved to win a World Series, and it's unfortunate, obviously.
That team was special.
Yeah, that it was taken away from them the way it was. All right, I think we might only have food questions at this point. One of them's hybrid. Lori wants to know best comfort food to eat to deal with watching the Dodgers play. I think I'm probably going just because it's my favorite like food. I think burger and fries is just good, sort of.
Yeah, it can't be anything good for you. I was going to say just get some pizza and beer or whatever your beverage is of choice and bury yourself with it.
I'll say a cream cheese pretzel at Disneyland because I love those, and then I'm not actually watching the Dodgers, so I'm just kind of following them on my phone and don't have to watch. Just enjoying my time.
Blake has always got to ruin these answers every single time. Let's see, what else do we have? OG Martinez. No disrespect to Blake, but do people give you a tough time being a Celtics fan and a Dodger fan?
I'm not really a Celtics fan. I don't watch or care about basketball, but I just kind of go with it as like the troll of it now. So like, not really. It's the Patriots and then Alabama stuff that gets more, but both those teams are bad now. The Patriots might be good again, but yeah, it's been a bit. We haven't won a playoff series in like 5 years or something, 6 years maybe. So
I have a food thing. I am going to do a 36-hour fast starting. So my last meal will be tomorrow, like dinner time.
Okay.
So then
you loading up on like a specific food type at dinner then?
No, that's bad. I'm doing this for like health reasons. Like I don't have anything, there's nothing wrong with me, but like I've been reading about the benefits of it and things like that. And like, I want to try it.
Yeah.
And so you're not supposed to like load up or anything like that, but I will be like, so the reason why I made 4 steaks is because I'm going to do that tomorrow also. So like, I'm going to load up on protein and then, so my last meal will be dinner time. So let's say sometime between 5 and 7 o'clock, I'll be done eating. Then I'll sleep. I'll wake up Sunday. I won't eat at all Sunday. And then basically by the time I wake up on Monday, I can eat again.
Okay. You hydrating during the 36 hours?
Yes. Yeah. I don't drink coffee, so I won't do that. You're allowed to drink coffee, but I'll do like fruit infused water, like that kind of thing. That's okay.
All right.
But yeah, so just see how it goes.
We'll have to. So if Anthony's either going to be grumpy on Sunday, or he's going to be feeling good.
Yeah, because Sunday night show comes at the time when they say, like, I may be a little past it, but like based on everything I've read, the point of like hangry to like I'm feeling good is right in that window when the show is. So we'll see.
So we have to hope for them to lose that day, so we get like just all the emotion from you. Some great takes.
Yeah, maybe so.
All right. Well, hey, if that's not a tease to get everybody to tune in for Sunday night's show, I don't know what is. All right. Well, Anthony, best of luck to you. That's interesting. I don't know if it's something that I could pull. I'd have to look into the logistics of it. Although I guess like if you're able to spend a decent amount of time of that sleeping, and maybe like, are you going to try to keep yourself busy to just keep your mind off of it type thing?
Yeah, I'm going to go for walks. Like you're not supposed to do like hardcore like workout stuff, but like I'll walk. Sunday might be tough. I might have picked a bad day because that's kind of the day like that we lay around or whatever. But we'll see. Maybe I'll take the girl out to, go for a walk or that kind of stuff. I think once I get past like a certain point, that'll be easy because like my typical work days anyway. Like I work from home for my regular job, and so I probably don't even think about eating until like 11 or 12 o'clock anyway. And sometimes I push it past that too. So like I think once I get to that point, I'll be all right.
I might have to join Sunday's show just to see how Anthony's doing. And David says he's going to be sending pictures of food. That's a guaranteed loss. David, that's just rude. That's just rude. All right, let's see. We have a couple more here. Wendy wants to know favorite ice cream spots. I prefer the only ice cream I like actually like truly really like or would want or crave is Jamaica almond fudge from Baskin Robbins. So I guess by default that's my favorite ice cream spot, but it's not one that I like actively go to or say like, oh, I'm really craving ice cream, let's go to Baskin Robbins type thing.
Yeah, Baskin Robbins is always a good go-to. Cold Stone's good though.
Cold Stones. Somebody on our show told us about Handles, and then I went and tried it and I didn't care for it.
I was probably going to say Cold Stone, but I was going to give an honorable mention to Handles because I went there and had a banana flavored one, and it was really good. So
okay. I've never had that.
It's always packed though.
Yeah, ooh, someone in the chat says Thrifties. Man,
they're closing them.
Yeah, I think they're all pretty much closed, right?
I think at least Rite Aid locations are closing, but I think Thrifty, like the ice cream brand, was bought by a new company. And so the brand, I think, is going to live on, like, just being sold.
Yeah, I think my mom said the same thing too. So I think you're probably right there.
Can I give a hot take that McDonald's ice cream is amazing?
Just like their vanilla one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is good.
I haven't had that in years, but it was always good when I had it.
Anthony's trying to shame us. He's saying I haven't had that since I was a kid, but it was good when I was eating it way back in the day. All right.
I'm glad this fast isn't starting right now with all of this talk.
That's true. All right. A couple more here. John wants to know. Oh, I meant to add this earlier. Don't believe what Blake told you. His nickname is Boston Blake for a reason. He's trying to act like he's trying to stay safe in LA and play it cool, but I'll just leave it at we call him Boston Blake for a reason.
I have more Lakers hats than Celtics hats. Just throwing that out there.
Again, don't believe what Blake's telling you guys right now. John wants to know, Blake, do you know any hockey? Are you even a Kings fan?
This is a tough one because I do like hockey and I have been a Kings fan, but their front office and ownership group is such a mess. I just can't stand them. So I didn't watch any games last year until they make real changes. I'm kind of boycotting them.
EC, I'm throwing this one in. Wants to know if Crumble is any good. I feel like we've been split on this a little bit.
That's like the cookie one, right? Not a different
I believe so. Yes, I believe he's asking about the cookie place.
Very overrated.
I agree. Anthony, are you familiar with it?
Yeah. I mean, it's good. Like, it's not a bad cookie, but like, it's expensive, right? Like I think that's probably where the overrated statement comes from. It's not like if you got a crumble cookie and you didn't know where it came from and you ate it and you'd be like, oh, this is terrible. No, you'd be like, oh, this is pretty good cookie.
I'm gonna sound like I'm on the payroll, but McDonald's chocolate chip
cookies. Gosh.
I'm serious. McDonald's chocolate chip cookies are life-changing. I'm just throwing that out there.
And EC is saying that she's a female, so I apologize. I think I got you honestly mixed up with BC, who's in here with us a lot of times. So EC, my apologies. She was asking if crumble is any good. I don't care for it. I think it's overrated. All right, last one. I think unless something trickles in, Cole says, "What is the best chicken dish you have ever had, and no fast food?"
That's a tough one.
So I can answer as you guys are waiting. My wife makes pretty good chicken parm. I've told you guys that the chicken parm is normal, but the pasta that we make it with is like a spicy, not vodka, but like a spicy, almost like marinara type sauce. So it's not just your traditional red sauce. And so it's a good balance of a little bit of heat with your chicken parm. So that's my favorite. And I'm not just saying this because it's my wife. Like it genuinely is.
Where I'm from, there is a Japanese place that makes a katsu chicken dish. That's like one of my favorite meals ever. Like it's a go-to whenever I'm in the area. So I would have to say that's probably that. There was a place in when we were kids, we used to go to my grandparents in Mexico, and like the way they serve food there is different. So you'd go to like a chicken and rice place and they like just give you the rotisserie chicken and they're like, here you go. Like, this is the meal. And like, there was a spot that maybe it was because it was a kid and it's like one of those memory hold things, but like that chicken was amazing.
Okay. Blake, are you going to, IHOP is not fast food. So if you want to go with your IHOP chicken parm, it'll fly.
I don't even know. Like I've had a lot of really good chicken. I like mole chicken a lot, if we're just counting like that kind of thing. I mean, I like all chicken kind of, so very hard to pick one. Chicken pot pie, always good. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. There we go. Let's see. Some people are on board with chicken katsu, Taiwanese chicken. Laura, not about chicken, but she would love to have Barnesy back, she says.
We need them.
Here's a good. Hepatitis wants to know, do you guys like cookies kind of melted or more solid?
Crispy on the outside and like soft on the inside.
Yeah. I probably would lean a little bit more melted than solid, though.
Yeah, probably same.
I agree with that.
I'm not a huge cookie person, but yeah, I would agree with those takes.
Just saying, though, McDonald's cookies, since we're on the topic, I'm not kidding. Like, just try them. Very good.
The McDonald's check. Guggenheim didn't deliver this month, but the McDonald's check has hit Blake's account, in case you guys were wondering.
Say whatever you want about their food, but their cookies and ice cream are top tier.
I can't speak to their cookies. Their vanilla ice cream, if that's something you're kind of looking for, like, yes, it is good. But I still stand by Blake's. The direct deposit from Ronald McDonald has hit.
Jeff is going to be so mad that no one mentioned the Pizookie at BJ's.
Oh, that's a good point.
Are we counting that, though?
I feel like that's ice cream and cookie.
It's a different dessert.
Anyway. All right. Almost 2 hours here, guys. What a Friday night. We've gone long enough and off the rails enough that you might not remember what happened about 2 hours ago.
That was the point. That was the goal.
Got some confirmation.
Okay. Hepatitis is confirming what Blake.
You see what this team makes us do?
Blake's propaganda. Yeah.
We do this even when they win, though.
That's true. I did see a comment earlier in our show tonight saying that this was rock bottom. And I meant to throw it up and comment that that's what people said last night. That's what people said the night before that.
I think Dave was asked if it's rock bottom in July, and he said it's better. It better be. And we're a month later now.
So maybe this truly was rock bottom tonight. If you somehow missed it, Dodgers had a walk-off loss to the Orioles. They've now lost 4 games in a row. They are still up 2 games in the NL West because the Padres keep losing. They were just swept by the red-hot Orioles, and then the Padres lost tonight to the Rockies. So Dodgers have 2 more games. Go ahead.
Before we go, do they win tomorrow?
Yes, because it's baseball and everybody's counting them out. Orioles have their ace going. Yamamoto's pitching for the Dodgers, so he should at least they should be kept in the game, right?
That means no run support.
Well,
That's
but he got. I thought he got run support last time. Well, he did. He's
you can't ask for that every time. Come on now, Matt.
See, I went with your logic when they were facing Skeens. I was like, they're probably going to win just because it's baseball like that, and then they lost. So no, I'm saying they're getting shut out by Trevor Rogers and losing, and we're all going to be panicking again, and we'll probably have another emergency live show.
If you want some optimism, Cole says bottom of the lake right now. Next stop is bottom of the ocean. Apparently, it's not rock bottom just yet. I do think they win tomorrow. Anthony, what do you have for tomorrow?
I think they lose tomorrow.
Okay, so then if you guys are both predicting losses tomorrow, do they win on Sunday or are they getting swept again?
No, I think they win on Sunday.
Blake?
I'll go with the win on Sunday.
And then I think they have a good week going into the following week.
Okay. So it's after the Orioles, it's 3 at home with the Rockies, and then I think up to San Francisco.
Yeah.
And I forgot who's after that. Yeah. Anyway. All right. Well, there you have it. I think they get the win tomorrow. Blake and Anthony
salvaging a series.
Blake and Anthony think they'll be salvaging the series on Sunday. Again, I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. This was an unexpected, unscheduled show, sort of impromptu. We ended up stretching it 2 hours, and we had a huge audience tonight. Great interaction with you all. I know that these nights can get frustrating and disappointing watching the Dodgers. We appreciate the engagement, the interaction, even some of the jokes and the upbeat attitude that you guys still are able to have with us. Couple programming notes for this weekend. We will be putting up, Blake, as I mentioned earlier, did an interview with the LA Card Show. Was he the president? Sorry, I know I asked you earlier.
He's the founder of it.
The founder. LA Card Show founder interview, I believe, is probably going to go up on Saturday. That event is coming up at Dodger Stadium at the end of the month. It overlaps with the final day of the regular season, but they are going to be showing the game on the video board there, so you'll be able to watch it. Jeff and some version of Anthony will be back on Sunday. So be sure to tune in to see how Anthony's fasting is going. And before I finish our closeout, we have another super chat that I want to make sure we get to. Casey, says, I was here in Baltimore and saw us lose.
Brutal.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. We did have some people tweeting us over the last couple of days saying,
some crap takes.
That they traveled, they flew out to Pittsburgh. I saw somebody say they were in Pittsburgh and then they were going to Baltimore. So it's been an unfortunate stretch if you're traveling, watching the Dodgers right now. But Casey, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for popping in here late. But as I was saying, be sure to keep an eye out for Blake's interview. Jeff and Anthony will be back for a live show Sunday. I think that's pretty much it. Scott is doing his DodgerHeads Unplugged show Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific, live. So as it's, again, you hear us say it, but the best way to join us for all of this, to make sure you don't miss any interviews, any of our live shows, is to subscribe to the YouTube channel, ring the notification bell, and make sure I said there's the one little setting where you have to pick what type of notifications you want. I believe it's like all notifications. I forget. I'll have to double check how they word it specifically, but be sure to turn that on so that you get notified when we have videos up. And keep reading DodgerBlue.com. We also have our app. If you look it up in the App Store, Google, Droid, Android, Apple, Dodger Blue 1958, you'll find us. It's the best way to kind of consume all of our information. You could also go to DodgerBlue.com if that's what you prefer. We're on podcast, Apple, Google, Spotify. I know that was a lot of information for you guys, and I apologize. But again, a big thank you. And that's Blake, Anthony, Matthew, and we will see you guys next time.